Hey, Vanna. Hey, Hamburger Eyes. Hey, Killface. You see me? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I spent hey, Donna. Oh, happy birthday, Donna. I spent the rest of yesterday being invisible. Yeah, happy birthday, Donna. Hey, Roxanne. What was that song? What was that song Bart wrote Lisa for her birthday? Donna. Her face is big and green. Hey, BK. The great song. Happy Easter. Yeah, Lisa. Was it her face is big and green? Because, yeah, Lisa, her face is big and green. Lisa, she smells like Listerine. Is it Listerine? She smells like Listerine. Lisa, da da da, Lisa, your birthday. I'm sorry, I missed. Hey, Anunnaki. Those people are stupid. The people complaining about it are stupid. Chocolate bunny. I mean, I've been picking up chocolate bunnies for like the past month and a half. Just like smaller ones. Yeah, I've been picking up like little chocolate bunnies for like the past month and a half to snack on each night. Maybe even 2 months. They've been around for a while. The chocolate bunny's been around for a while. So ready? No, I don't give a shit about Easter. Aw, thanks, Roxanne. Sally, there won't be any more chocolate bunnies. I've still got a couple in my fridge. So for the rest of this weekend, work week, whatever, still gotta, be able to have a few more for the next few days. But after that, no more chocolate bunnies. Alas. Alas and alack. Both of them. Both alas and alack. That's how you know it's. That's how you know it's bad. Bright-eyed and cotton-tailed? No. I don't think I'm ever bright-eyed. Too sleepy to be bright-eyed. Do you like to read books of the past time? Hey, 7gen. I used to. I used to read a lot of books, but haven't really in a while. Really want to get back to it. But it's hard. Booktube is fun. What if I made an egg that said... I mean, go ahead, I guess? Skin looks great. I mean, it's just the lighting, I think. I'm pretty sure it's just the lighting. My skin itself is the same as it was. It's just the lighting. It's sort of like I'm like in front of me. April Fools? No. Fuck April Fools. Love to hear what you would recommend to read. I mean, lots of stuff. Could always go back to the classics like Wizard of Earthsea. Just Scapegoat. Thank you for 15 months, Scapegoat. But I mean, it depends on what you like. It depends on what you enjoy, 7gen. You know, like I'm partial to fantasy myself. So yeah, April Fools is bullshit. There are rarely, very rarely, are any of the April Fools gags you see actually amusing. Hey, Uncle Buck. Curse out religion. Yeah. Sure, go ahead. I tend not to curse out religion, but best fantasy book for you is Mist of Avalon. I never read that one. I grew up on like Piers Anthony, which unfortunate in retrospect. Yeah, the early Xanth books were good, but the longer it went, the fucking weirder and creepier it got. Extra present today? No. No, I never feel particularly present. I also read like David and Lee Eddings. I also read David and Lee Eddings, which again, learning, you know, a few months ago, I learned some shit about them that I was like, oh, love weird and creepy. Well, like for Piers Anthony, weird and creepy in a way that's like not enjoyable. Like by weird and creepy, I mean like one of the Xanth books, the protagonist married an actual fucking child. Like fell in love with an actual child, a literal child. That's what I mean by weird and creepy is like, oh, well, that's shit that's not something I ever wanted to read. That's not something I ever needed. Like, yeah. Like, I don't think he's actually, like, I don't think that he's got any, you know, any tendencies that way himself. Yeah, like one of the Xanth books, the actual title is The Color of Her Panties. Like the name of the book, the title of the book is The Color of Her Panties. So that should tell you quite a bit. Yeah. Yeah, it's not great stuff. Hate the word panties. Hair. Hey, Raption. We'll have a Pride March. I honestly have no idea. Probably. Hope to get back into it. I do really want to. All these have crotches on them. What was that? That was in Ottawa that I went to a Pride March in Anunnaki. What was that sex toy store that Chantel once got a uh, a sponsorship from? Wasn't like Adam and Eve? Something like adamandeve.com or something like that. This was years ago. Hey, Trash Bandy. This was years ago. No one else remembers that? Like I don't remember if I'd even moved back up to Ottawa myself at that point. Might have. It was before we moved back in together. How am I tonight? I'm trying to remember the name of that sex toy site that Chantel was briefly sponsored by at one point. Coldest water bottle. Oh yeah, the coldest water bottle. That one lasted a while. Coldest water bottle she had for a while. I think this one was. It might have been a little bit before coldest water. Or it might have been during while she was sponsored by them as well. I don't remember. It was Adam and Eve. Okay, I knew Eve was in the name. I couldn't like Adam and Eve. Like I felt like it was Adam and Eve, but I was like, no, that can't be right. So it was Adam and Eve. I couldn't quite remember the name of it. Sponsored tons of YouTubers. I mean, if you ever want to sponsor me, Summer's Eve. This is a face that sells sex toys. Hey, ladies. You could go on a date with me, or you could stay at home with this. Yeah. Yeah, that's a way to sell sex toys. That's how you sell sex toys to women. It's better than the guys out there. Who are you going to use sex toy on now? Nobody. Would rot away in your drawer. I mean, they probably shouldn't be rotting. If a sex toy is rotting, then that's that's something you should absolutely be concerned about. What was it made? What is it made out of that it actually rots? What if it's a cucumber? True. Cucumber goes rotten. Don't keep a cucumber in your drawer. Keep it in the fridge. And when it starts to go bad, throw it out. Also, just because it's been used doesn't mean it's not still good. Wash it off, maybe peel the skin. Still edible. It's my night cucumber. It has to stay in the drawer. Not all of us are rich with a mini fridge. True, true. Hey, no name. An interview where the hiring manager was watching everything you were doing. Um, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, as other than like watching me like while interviewing, but like you mean like I assume you mean like they have you like doing like some sort of computer thing, some sort of test on the computer. No, I don't think I've had hiring manager watch while I was doing one of those computer test things. Make a mean cucumber boat. Yeah, that sounds dirty. I like the idea of peeling it. No, I don't know. The thing with that no name is I am not great at sort of reading people. So like, were they doing that? Maybe. I don't know. I wouldn't have been paying attention. It's not something I would have noticed. And like, in order for me to know if they were watching what I was doing, I would have had to have looked at their eyes. I don't do eye contact. So you felt judged. I mean, they probably were judging you. You rate my mod 0 out of 10? Harsh. Where do I look then? Around, mostly. When I do eye contact. I am just not comfortable. Like, I am just not comfortable doing making eye contact. So yeah, I just tend to look everywhere else. Which is probably not really, probably kind of unsettling to other people, I would imagine. But whatever. You never make direct eye contact? I used to stare at people's butts instead. Damn, Vanna. I think people are unsettled I give too much eye contact. Unbroken. Was that an accident, Vanna? Didn't mean to do that if I did. I have hamburger eyes. If you are still here, um, apparently that's what you get for rating the mod 0 out of 10. That's what you get for giving the mods a bad rating, hamburger eyes. I've unhidden you. You should be back. You should be allowed back in hamburger eyes. There we go. I rate them negative 1 out of 10. World star. Guess so. As an uncomfortable experience. I can understand that. What video games I like? I mean, I've been playing through Cyberpunk 2077, enjoying that one. I love the Mass Effect trilogy. Oh, thanks, Roxanne. Doing a playthrough of the Final Fantasy games. So I've been playing through the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters. So I like old school like Super Nintendo era JRPGs. Yeah, like the old school Final Fantasies, Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, those sort of old school JRPGs. I enjoy visual novels. In general, I do prefer games where like you can slow the action down a lot. Like I don't really like games that require fast reflexes. Because I do not have fast reflexes. Cyberpunk is a cool game, but not when it first came out. Yeah, it was absolutely broken when it first launched. Like, it was basically unplayable at launch. Credit to the developers. They did an amazing job making it actually playable and enjoyable. That's getting stressful. Like, it's just, yeah, I mean, like, I don't have good reflexes. So any game that requires fast reflexes, I don't really enjoy. Amazon is not cheap anymore. Yeah, Amazon sucks. But yeah, I mean, that's one reason I like. So, never played Stardew Valley, but that's one reason why I like sort of the older JRPGs, is because like the turn-based combat. I like the turn-based combat because you can sort of, you know, like I said, you can slow down, you can plan out your moves, you can sort of think through what you want to do before you do it. It's also why I like the Mass Effect trilogy. You know, like I tried playing Andromeda, and I did not enjoy it. The gameplay, I did not like the gameplay anywhere near as much as I enjoyed the trilogy because it doesn't have that pause option. You know, like with the trilogy, is press the trigger, yeah, press one of the trigger buttons. You can pull up your power wheel, freeze the action while you sort of look around, survey the battlefield. See where the enemies are. Decide on what power you want to use, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, the trilogy allows you to control the speed of the battle in a way that Andromeda just doesn't. Andromeda is real time. It doesn't have the power wheel that allows you to look around. So, yeah. So yeah, that's what I like is in general, I prefer slower pace. Thoughts on Cloud and Tifa's relationship? So bear in mind, I have not played or watched the original FF7. Um, the Let's Play I'm watching of FF7 Rebirth, uh, she's just made it to that mining town that Barrett is from. So I think they're on their way, like on her way to the Golden Saucer. I think that's the next destination is the Gold Saucer. Um, so my impression of the relationship is based off of Remake and the first few hours, first 30 hours of Rebirth. But yeah, I mean, I like their relationship. I like the polycule between Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith. It's a love triangle in that they are all like in that they're all dating each other. That games gave me gray hairs. I don't know. So yeah, you'll never convince me that that the three of them aren't all in a relationship. Happily together. Or at least that isn't the ideal. Anywho, it's a good thing I've got a buffer for my Final Fantasy playthrough because I've fallen behind a little bit in recording it. Need to try to build that buffer back up again. Still got like a couple weeks. I've still got like a 4-episode buffer. 4 episodes recorded. What I had for dinner? Nothing. I never eat dinner. At least not during the week. Hey, average dude. I really only have dinner like Wednesdays and Thursdays, basically on my weekends. Because during the week, I just want to, you know, when my lunch break comes around, I just want to lay down and have a nap. I get tired. Well, I'm a millennial. Like I am a millennial because just from where I was born, 1980. I was born 1985, which does place me, firmly in the millennials. Thoughts on boomers? Fucking Gen X cusp. No. No, my brother's closer to the cusp of Gen X. So no, I'm firmly like I'm older millennial. I'm an older millennial, but I am like firmly a millennial. As far as boomers go, um, maybe the worst generation. Like very possibly the worst generation because they ended up with a very I got mine, fuck everyone else attitude. Boomers are in their 60s, 70s now. Yep. Yeah, basically, like boomers got all sorts of advantages and then pulled the ladders up after them. As a millennial, we never had anything affordable. Exactly, yeah. Because the baby boomers ensured that everything would be too expensive. Yeah, they got cheap college, they got cheap homes, they got cheap everything, and then they went, "No, we're going to make it everything more expensive." Look down their nose on the later generations. Yep. You know what's wild? Here's what I think is like. I feel like one of the most like perfect examples of the boomer mindset. They invented the idea of participation trophies, which they then used to mock the kids that they gave those trophies to. Right? Like, it was the baby boomers who actually came up with the idea of participation trophies. That was their fucking idea. It wasn't the idea of the kids. They were fucking kids. It was the boomers who came up with that idea. And they immediately started to sneer at that idea that they came up with and used it to criticize the kids today. Oh, kids today are too soft with their participation trophies. Well, whose fucking idea? Like, they criticize kids for the shit that the kids aren't even responsible for, that they have nothing to do with. Hey, hello, Craig. Work a minimum wage job, have a second-hand car, and an apartment during session 70s. Um, And yeah, education is another. What are we debating? How much the baby boomer generation sucks. Yeah, education is another really good example because, like, you know, college tuition was cheap when they were young. Or like the whole like bitching about um when boomers complain about like student loan debt forgiveness. When they like complain about student loan debt forgiveness. And it's like, I worked my way through college, blah, 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 blah. It's like, well, yeah, but it was a lot cheaper back then. Minimum wage was, worth more in terms of real dollars than it is now. And it's next generation fucked. Kinda. College tuition was a fraction of what it is now. And, everything was more affordable. And then, like, tuition costs have skyrocketed, far outpacing inflation. Minimum wage has not kept up with inflation at all. So, like, if a kid wants to go to college, unless they're rich, they have no choice but to take out uh, massive loans, and those loans, 20 years later, they've barely paid anything towards the principal because the interest rates are so high. It's just it's just like they refuse to acknowledge the reality that things have changed from when they were young, from when they were in their 20s. It's they can't really, a lot of them can't really grasp the idea that, yes, everything is vastly more expensive these days, and real wages, have not kept up. So, like, home ownership, a home costs way more. College costs way more. Everything costs way more. And, like, people are making less now when adjusted for inflation than they were 40 years ago. What do you think the best year was? Yeah, I don't know that there has been a particularly great year. The year of the Reaper. Hey, Elizabeth. Best year. I mean, the year from hell was a pretty good Star Trek Voyager two-parter. I liked the year from hell. That was pretty good. Solid episode. Then 16 took out a lot of celebrities. Yep. It was this year that was it this year or last year that Kissinger died. Is it raining there? Couldn't tell you. Still looking for. Nah, I haven't even bothered. Apparently, it is not currently raining. Skincare regime? No. Trans holiday thing? I mean, it's not really a holiday. It's just, you know, a day of recognizing that trans people exist and so on and so forth. Yeah, it was a. When did Kissinger die? Why would it fall on Easter? Well, it doesn't. It falls on March 31st. Did I celebrate Easter? I did not. 2023. So yeah. It was 2023 that finally took out Henry Kissinger. Yeah, I mean, I believe the first Trans Day of Visibility, I believe, was 2019 or 2009. I mean, first Trans Day of Visibility was 2009, and March 31st was just the day that was chosen because why not? So yeah, it's March 31st is the Trans Day of Visibility, and then Easter. Easter just floats around based on lunar calendar and shit like that. And it's just that this year it happens to happen. Didn't see any trans people today. Trans Day separate from Pride, or is it include? Well, this is a separate thing. You know, Pride is usually in June. Just the month of June is usually Pride month. Watching any good shows lately? Nah, I haven't been watching anything. I'm still slowly making my way back through Deep Space Nine. How am I doing? Surviving. Still sort of trying to make my way back through Star Trek Deep Space Nine. So, speaking of Star Trek, this Thursday. Anyone ever recognize me in public? Yes. Happened to me once without Chantal. There have been a couple of times where I was with Chantal where she got recognized, and then I sort of got recognized by association. There was once where I got recognized without her. Streaming services. Only streaming service I have is Paramount Plus, and I only have that for Star Trek. I don't actually use Spotify. As far as like new cool music, nothing recently. I haven't really discovered any new music recently, but I haven't been looking recently. Gamergate was a harassment campaign. Gamergate 2.0 is the same. Whiny little bastards who hate the idea that their hobby doesn't cater specifically and exclusively to them. Hey, email. Thanks. I think gamers have a legitimate gripe. Oh, I mean, gamers have plenty of legitimate gripes. Microtransactions are fucking abomination. Live service games? are just a shitty trend. Really didn't mean to block Hamburger Eyes. I know, man, I know. Uh, Mass layoffs in the industry, that's a totally valid gripe. The mass layoffs that happen at damn near every major uh, game developer. Just don't like corporatized inclusivity. I will say that that's actually a really good term. Corporatized inclusivity is actually a really good term because it is because that's sort of what like. It's not about, you know, let's try to expand the voices that are present within the industry. Let's try to get more diverse voices and let those people tell more diverse stories and so on and so forth. It's not about that. It's, you know, throwing a black dude so we look good. It's like that is definitely like that is absolutely a thing. Um, that said, the people who complain about the black dude being in the game are almost never actually complaining about, you know, are like it's almost never it's they're complaining about the fact that that the lead is a black, like they'll complain about the fact that, you know, the main character in a game is a black dude or a lesbian or whatever. You know, like they're not thoughts in companies that choose profits over people. I mean, it's shitty behavior. It's a proof of why capitalism is a terrible system. Because like the people who Supersize Me, I never watched it, but like the people who are like in the Gamergate community, they're never like I would bet that I would bet that virtually nobody in either version of Gamergate spent much time talking about, hey, boobs. Like I bet that almost none of them spent any time talking about something like, say, thirsty suitors. You don't like they might complain about, you know, Black Cat wasn't sexy enough in the Spider-Man games. This female character isn't sexy enough. Oh, they're making the women non-sexy. That's what they're bitching about. Or like, oh, not allowed to be a white man in a game anymore. Oh, white men just not allowed in gaming anymore. That's what they bitch about. They're not talking like they're not going out there like Thirsty Suitors is a fantastic, you know, they're not saying like Thirsty Suitors is a fantastic exploration of the diaspora experience and what it means to be a queer woman of color and exploring cultural differences and blah blah blah, and there should be more games like Thirsty Suitors, and the people who worked on Thirsty Suitors, they should be getting, these are the people that the major developers should be looking at to help them make games that are both diverse while also being authentic to the experiences of the characters and blah, 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 blah. They're not talking about that. They're talking about why Lara Croft no have big tits. Representation matters. It absolutely matters. Representation absolutely matters. But the people who complain about DEI in video games, the people who complain about that stuff, those people don't actually care about representation. They want Lara Croft to have big tits. They must appeal to the broad spectrum consumer too if they're to make money. Sure. But one thing I would argue is that mass layoffs are actually a really shitty way of doing that. And that's a big problem that the industry is facing. A game will make $1 billion and the entire creative team will be immediately fired. And that makes, and that's not a great way of making sustainable profits. It's going to lead to games getting shittier and shittier, and that's going to drive people away in the long term. Like, there's a reason Nintendo games are always really, really good. Or almost always. Like, there's a reason that Nintendo games are almost always really well received. It's because they keep the same teams. Greatest Native Guild or Union? They do. I am all for unionizing fucking everything. They don't pander? I mean, they kind of do. They do. Like, they do in some respects. I wouldn't say it's because I wouldn't say they don't pander. It's because they have the same teams, and like because those people have job security, they're not scared of losing their job, so they can focus on making the best game possible. Anyway, it has now been an hour, so I'm going to end the stream here for tonight. I will be back tomorrow, assuming YouTube allows me to be. Wouldn't let me on last Monday. Thanks, Ava. So, assuming no technical issues, I'll be back tomorrow. And for now, good night, and thanks for watching. Thanks for coming.